Hey, did you learn a lot about credit in school? I've asked this question to hundreds of thousands of people across the country, and the answer 99.99% of the time has been no, I did not learn a lot about credit in school, and so let's get started. All right, first of all, why in the world is nothing taught about credit in school? Because basically we have these archaic school systems that are managed from different, compartments of the government who decide what they think is most important. Instead, we're learning all of these different mathematical factors that we're never actually going to use for the majority of our lives. We're learning all these different subjects and topics that 99% of kids are just never going to use in real life, and that is extremely unfortunate. We should be teaching about sales. We should be teaching about investment, how money works. We should be teaching about entrepreneurship. We should be teaching about financial management. And absolutely, you better believe we better be teaching about credit. So let's jump into this. What are some of the most important factors that you should know about credit? Well, number one, you should know that credit affects everything in your life from the time you're 18 to the time you die, right? If you want to fund a business, you better have good credit. If you want to buy a house, better have good credit. Want to buy a car? Better have good credit. You're going to pay 2 or 3 times more with high interest rates. If you want low insurance rates or even to get insurance rates, you better have good credit. Want to get that big job? Well, guess what? That background check is going to include a credit check often. Want to date that perfect potential prospective spouse or partner, husband, wife, material, boyfriend, girlfriend? Guess what? Dating profiles ask for your credit, and that can be a deal killer right from date number 1, or you might even not even get there. Next, you've got to understand, what are these credit score things, right? Well, Credit Karma says I have a 700 FICO score. That doesn't mean shit. Credit Karma is not giving you a FICO score, they're giving you a Vantage score. If you want to get on top of your credit, you've got to manage the FICO score. So you should be going to Experian.com and managing that FICO score, because that is what lenders are going to go off of. You get above a 750 FICO score, you're in a great spot where you can get almost the best rates on anything. The very top, probably 780, 800, depending on what you're applying for. Now, if you can at least get above a 720, you're in a pretty decent spot. And usually when you start going below 720, it's because you've got some late payments, you've got some collections, or you've got some maxed out credit card balances. So how can we remedy these and get on top of it? Well, number one, set up Autopay on every account, whether it's a business account, whether it's a personal account. Make sure those payments are made on time. And if you've got a big payment that you have to make every month and you may or may not have that money in the checking account to cover it, then you better be monitoring that on a weekly basis. That's why you need to be having a weekly money date every single week, going over all of your debts, going over your income. Are you progressing? Are you winning in business? Are you winning at life? Is your net worth increasing? Is your credit score improving? If you're not measuring these things, then you're going to be failing. It's just that simple. So Autopay, very important. Monitoring things on a weekly basis, very important. And then the next thing you want to monitor is credit card balances, right? So we've got to have those card balances down. If we can have them below 45%, that's the first level of importance. If we can get them below 30%, so example, if it's a $10,000 limit card, I want the balance below $4,500. If I can get it below $3,000, 30%, then I'm really winning. Now, the only time you want to be keeping a credit card balance and not paying it off each and every single month is because you have invested in yourself with education, with entrepreneurship, with mentorship, or maybe you've invested in your business and it's going to generate a fantastic return, and over time easily be able to pay that off and create new income streams. Another important factor that no one's ever taught is don't close your credit card accounts. One of the easiest ways to damage and destroy your credit is to have a balance with a credit card and then say, oh, well, Dave Ramsey said don't use credit cards. I'm going to close my credit card. That's not what he said. He said use credit cards wisely, try to pay more cash for things, only use them and pay them off every month so you get free points, you never pay interest. But what you don't want to do is close a credit card. You do that, that immediately lowers your available credit, which is one of the 30% factors that massively impacts you and your credit score. Another important factor that they don't teach in school, but they absolutely should. Next, you want to manage different types of accounts. If you can have credit cards, car loans, mortgages, those are kind of the big three. If you can have all 3 types of accounts, in your credit report history. That's going to be very, very effective and impactful. Also, the longer your credit is open, the better. Accounts that are open in perpetuity are credit cards, right? So again, that's why you don't close those credit cards. If you have like one of those little Kohl's cards or some little store card, fine, you can close those, not the biggest deal. But if you have major credit cards from a Chase, Bank of America, Citi, US Bank, etc., Capital One, you want to keep those open for the most part, because that average age of accounts is another important part of your credit history and your credit score. So that, my friends, are the most important factors. Let's review them one more time just so that we're on the same page. Use Autopay for all of your accounts on credit. Monitor your credit every single week. Pay off credit card balances monthly unless you're utilizing them for education or business, which is going to generate a substantial return so you can more than pay those off. Only hold those card balances in that case. Manage different types of accounts, from mortgages to car loans to credit cards, and keep those credit card accounts open. And most importantly, monitor. Where are you at? Where's your FICO score at on a weekly, monthly basis? Where's your credit heading? Monitor that stuff. And my friends, you will win the credit game, because to win the game of life, you've got to win the credit game. Come on back, share this with other entrepreneurs, and let's win in 2024.